I found out my wife was recently on your show. She told me she had a job interview and she lied to me.
Oh,
Okay,
so how did you?
that's not the bad thing.
No.
She cheated on me with my stepbrother.
Did you know that 65 to 75% of all divorces involve real estate decisions in the United States? That means that at any given time, over 500,000 people are fighting over real estate. So, what do you think happens to a couple that's not communicating, or they're constantly arguing, or they decide to neglect the bills out of spite to the other person? If you get it wrong, you can end up losing the house and still having to pay for the mortgage, or at the least being liable for it. I recently just got off the phone with John and Maria. She's 63 years old. He's 75 years old. They answered the phone together and they told me they're going through a divorce and they're waiting for the attorney to help them split up their assets. I told them, well, what do you own? They said mostly the house. I told them, look, you don't need an attorney to determine that you're splitting the house in half. As long as you know what your house is worth, you can sell it and you don't have to pay those attorney fees. Look, she's 63, he's 75. They answered the phone together. Do you think they're really serious about getting divorced? I don't think so. Another situation, let's call him James. He lost the house in the divorce, but because they bought it together, he was still on the mortgage, even though the judge ordered her to pay it. Now, her credit wasn't so good, so it's going to take a while before she has the money and credit to refinance the loan. During that time period, if she's ever late on the mortgage, it's also going to affect his credit. So here's what not to do with the house if you're going through a divorce and the mistakes people make that hurt them financially. Mistake number 1, assuming that the divorce frees you from the mortgage. Now, you might have lost the house in the mortgage. However, if the loan is both in your name, the lender does not care, okay? You are still liable for that divorce. Most likely, the lawyer or the judge is going to have a clause in the divorce decree that's going to say your ex has up to 6 months or 5 years to refinance the loan. However, you're still on that mortgage. So if something happens where she defaults on that payment, you are still liable for it. One thing you can do, I know this might sound bad, hopefully your ex has good credit, but make sure you have access to the online portal where you can make sure the mortgage is still being paid. So in case that they miss it, you can step in so it doesn't hurt your credit. Another thing you can do is ask the lawyer to ask the judge to put a clause in the divorce decree that if she defaults on the mortgage, that she has to sell it right away. At least in this case, it's only going to be one payment or so, and she has to sell it. Another mistake I see people do is stop paying the mortgage just to spite your ex. You're like, you know what? She cheated on me, etc., just like you saw the guy in the video at the beginning. And you tell yourself, I'm not going to pay any of the bills. I'm going to let it foreclose, and she's going to have to fend for herself. Look, you can do that, but that foreclosure is going to be on your credit as well. And mistake number 3 is selling the house out of emotion. You're just frustrated and you take the first offer from an investor. What you should do, what I highly recommend, is hiring a professional realtor. But if you know what your house is worth, and you can do that by asking me or getting a certified market analysis, most realtors are going to do that for free in hopes to earn your business. A certified market analysis, just like it sounds, now it's an analysis of what your house is worth. Or you can get an appraisal that's going to cost you anywhere from $500 to $1,500, and you might not have the money to do that. Now, if you don't go with the realtor, what you can do is simply go to Google and type in home investors near me, companies that buy houses near me, companies that buy houses in Dallas or wherever you're located. I want you to pick the company that has the highest reviews and is most active on Google, and I want you to get a minimum of 3 offers. Most investors, let's say your house is worth $200,000, they should be around the same range. If your house is worth about $200,000 based on the certified market analysis, most investors are going to be at 180, 195, 210. If the fair market price for your house is 200,000 and you're getting offers at 100,000, those investors are probably trying to lowball you. Now remember, when an investor makes an offer on your home, you have to take it in consideration that they have to make a profit and they're most likely going to have to put repairs in that home.